All right, hello. So my name is Ansa. I'm one of the going to be the interviewers today. So we have, and so Jack here is
I'm a year 13 student applying to medicine.
Brilliant. And you had interviews at
Hull, York, Sunderland, Lincoln, and Nottingham.
Okay, brilliant. So I'm at University of Birmingham at the moment. I've done a lot of interviewing, tutoring quite a lot before, so I've got a bit of experience in that. So this is just to show you what it's like when people are interviewed, and I just want to keep this going so more people can get involved, and it sort of offers a free sort of tutoring service for knowing what it's like to be interviewed by someone and just critiquing people appropriately. So today we're going to start off with a scenario-based question rather than, so normally there's all the why you want to do medicine, but I feel like that is not something a lot of people do know how to answer. But we're going to try and do a scenario one, which I think a lot more people find difficult. So here is a scenario, and I've got this off of the Blackstone Tutors website, so that's something you can look at. So you are a second year. Okay, so I'll put a timer down.
Yep.
So you'll have a minute to think about it, and then we'll have 5 minutes to actually talk it through, to actually do the station. All right. So you're a second year medical student preparing for your end of year exams. 1 week before your examinations, you have a molecules, cells, and disease coursework due. One of your friends has just emailed you a selection of coursework completed by students in prior years for the same project. Explain your actions in this scenario. What would you be doing? Okay, so just have a think about it. I'll give you a few minutes. I'll give you a minute, and then you can go ahead and answer.
Yeah, and just let me know when my minute's up.
Yep. Okay, so your minute's up. So I'm going to start a 5-minute timer, so you now will enter the station. Okay.
Yep.
Hello. So my name is Zinta. So hopefully you've read the station outside and you had a look at it. So we're going to be going through that scenario today. Could you just confirm your name, please, and your age?
My name is Jack Bailey. I'm 18.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so can you talk me through this scenario? What's the scenario about?
So in this scenario, from what I understand, there is a coursework due for this degree, and someone has got access to previous years' work, and is then sharing it and allowing people to copy it. And I think it's important to understand that it's bad in this scenario because the university, the medical school, is assessing your work, not previous year's work. So that's why this is it's not a great thing, and there's something that I'll have to work through with. I think first of all, what I'll do in this scenario is, I think I'd speak to them, maybe just in a friendly manner, not being aggressive, like, oh, you need to delete this. Imply that, but approach them as a friend first, and just recommend strongly that, you know, I think you should delete this. You're violating the university's rules. You can put your degree in jeopardy and things like that. And for your benefit, I think you should really, you know, delete this. And hopefully at that point, I think, especially if they're my friend, and hopefully they would listen to what I'm trying to say, just especially if I'm trying to being as empathetic as possible, and really understanding that they might be struggling with the work, things like that. So they may want to cheat, but I should really imply that they shouldn't, and hopefully they'd listen.
Okay. And what principles do you think that he is going against?
I think one of the GMC guidelines, I think, is best summed as candor. And to me, that implies honesty and integrity, which I think here is being violated significantly. If other work is being passed off as your own, then that's clearly not being honest at all, and not being not showing integrity at all.
Yeah. Do you know what that's called when you take someone else's work and sort of submit it to you?
Plagiarism.
Yep, brilliant. And what sort of action would be taken if someone did do something like this?
Well, as I said, I'd try and speak to them first, but if
Yeah.
they wouldn't listen to me, then I would have to report them to
Yeah.
the medical school, and
Okay.
they would perhaps look into it, see how extensive it is, and if it is somewhat extensive, then I think they could perhaps be reprimanded, kicked off the degree.
Okay.
I'm not too
So,
sure what that.
I mean, copying someone work,
Mhm.
why is it such a big deal? I mean, it's just taking someone else's work. I mean, you've still done some of the work. Maybe you edited it a little bit, but you've done the work. Why does it matter?
Well, I think, as I said before, the medical school is trying to assess your work and your work alone. They're not interested in what someone last year did. They want to
Yeah.
assess if you know the knowledge and if you know all of it, not just part of the little part of it that you edited, all of it, I think. And that's why it's so important. And if you don't know it, but yet
Mm.
you progress to the next year because you've copied it and you don't know this knowledge, that could be dangerous to perhaps patients in the future when they're
Brilliant.
practicing.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Anything else you would do?
I think I would, as I said, I would speak to them as a friend, and then if they wouldn't listen, report them. But I think I would really stress the fact that I'm doing this out of
Okay.
for
And
their
how would you
best
go about
interest.
speaking to your friend?
I think, just as I mentioned before, in a really empathetic manner, I can really understand that you must be going through. It's a tough course. Yeah, I can really relate to that. I can see it must be stressful for you, but I really don't think cheating is the way to go about it. I don't think plagiarizing work is the way to go about
Okay.
it.
Okay. What if the person used this coursework but didn't copy it? So they just sort of use that as inspiration. Do you think that's still appropriate as well?
Maybe it's not as quote unquote bad as straight up plagiarizing, but at the end of the day, it's still testing what they learned from the lectures and from the course itself. So it's still, I don't think it's a great thing to do anyway, even if it isn't straight
Okay.
plagiarizing.
Okay. So if someone is going through difficulty, where would they sort of get support apart from yourself and providing support? Where else would they get support?
Yes, so other than me, I'd recommend they speak to the tutors.
Yeah.
Tutors can definitely be lenient, give extensions, offer help, and if they're struggling with the stress side of things, recommend them to the medical school's counselling services, perhaps,
Okay.
to help them deal with the stress.
Okay. Brilliant. And have you done something like this before? Has something happened before for you where someone's plagiarized, and what did you do about it?
Not extensively, but perhaps in my A levels with.
Okay. Time's up. So that was 5 minutes. Okay, so I give you 5 minutes. You might have got an extra minute,
Yeah.
depending on the university, but we'll just stick with 5 minutes for now. So I'm just going to give you a quick feedback.
Yeah.
So you're really good. You spoke really eloquently throughout. You were very confident in the way you spoke. And this time you had this really good empathetic value to the way you spoke to the individuals. You looked at them and you said, this is what they this is what they were showing in terms of like troubles and troubled times and how they're going through things. So you didn't sort of be like, oh no, it doesn't really matter what they do. I'm just going to put them under the bus, kind of thing. You really wanted to get to know the person as a person.
Yeah.
You understood the repercussions of like doing of plagiarizing, and you appropriately mentioned the GMC and professionalism. Duty of candor. But you could also mention things like professionalism as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
To improve. The other thing is you could try to put it on your own experiences. Again, trying to be a bit more specific to yourself.
Yeah.
Has something happened like this? What did you do about it? So how would you do? So you spoke about how you deal with this situation, and you could say something I did similarly was in this scenario, and that just shows something a bit more of who you are as a person.
Of course, yeah.
Brilliant. Apart from that, I think you did a really good job. Okay.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to stop that here.
Yeah.